Hello, everyone. Welcome to Online Seller UK podcast. My name is Prapat, founder at Online Seller UK. And today we'll be talking about e-commerce accounting and key metrics. So I'm joined by Philip Oakley, founder of Outserve. So, we will be talking about various aspects within marketplaces, Amazon, and, e-commerce in general. So welcome to our podcast, Philip.
Thank you very much, Pravat. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. So I think it's good for us to start with your introduction to your company, and we can take it from there.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so at Outserve, we have a team of people here who are helping growing e-commerce businesses really understand their numbers, know your numbers, understand your profit and your margin. We're assisting our clients with sales taxes, putting in sales tax returns all around the world, and then ongoing sort of management reporting and data service and e-commerce bookkeeping.
Excellent. So I think profit has been a key subject, I'm finding this year when I talk to various businesses. So obviously you've met lots of business in the industry over the years. So what do you think? Do people actually understand how to calculate profit with their, say, for example, Amazon accounts or any other marketplaces?
No, I think it is a struggle. And I think many e-commerce businesses, understandably, over the years have focused on turnover, revenue, how much I'm actually selling, and really looking at that figure probably daily. And also, I think, many businesses have probably focused on what's in the bank account, getting that app on the phone, looking every day, how much I've got in the bank, how much I've got in the bank today, and really being led by that and thinking, maybe on a day when we've got money in the bank, it's good. And maybe when we haven't got money in the bank, it's not so good. But actually focus on profit, I think, has been a struggle for people, especially on sort of a daily basis, weekly basis, or anything. They're looking at other metrics, which I think in the world we live in now could be a real challenge.
Okay, so is it because the setup within marketplace is so much complicated? Let's call it Amazon. So that people don't understand what profit is. Is that the case?
I think definitely we look at Amazon. As we know, Amazon can make things very complicated. And when you think of all of the charges, the chargebacks, the fees, and then refunds, returns, and then obviously roll all of those in with your ad spend as well, that's a complicated calculation, and it's constantly changing, it's constantly moving, as you probably or you don't know, Prabhat. We're seeing very significant changes. So you might have had a good handle on it last year, the year before, or whatever, and of course today is when I'm speaking to people, it's a very different situation, and they understand it's different, but they don't always understand the effect on their profitability and their numbers.
Okay, so we're talking obviously about profit. Then if we take in e-commerce accounting in general, so be it website or Amazon, eBay, Etsy, and things like that. So what are the challenges do you see in the industry at the moment?
I think really topical now, and I'd be really interested in your feedback as well, is some of the marketplace. Let's just take Amazon as a one. They're really going after the margin again. They're increasing their costs. So it's not, we can only think about a percentage, but their percentage is actually increasing. So that means that, the seller's margin is decreasing. And when some of those sellers were already on small margins, I know that there are people literally out there who are selling products at a loss by the time you've taken all of their costs into account. And it's a really interesting situation where you could actually improve your profitability by stop selling certain products on certain marketplaces, and really understanding that. And I think we've seen that over this last period, where the increase of the charges from the likes of Amazon have starting to make a significant difference, which can really turn what was a profitable product into a loss-making product, or certainly really reducing that profitability of that product. So again, looking at what your turnover is, what your revenue figure is not the really the number and the metric that you really need to think about in this world where margins can be so small.
Yeah, absolutely. So so when somebody starts selling, obviously in a particular country, that becomes, there comes a growth, and at some point, I think there will be some sort of plateau there at some period of time, and people look to sell internationally. So so marketplaces have got that mechanism built in place. So from accounting perspective, I believe there are some other considerations that a company to take. Do you want to talk a little bit on that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you're going to go and sell internationally, as you say, if you're selling on Amazon, then you're going to have, say, marketplace facilitated tax or marketplace facilitated VAT throughout Europe. But really understanding those numbers and seeing again them in your accounting software, so you can see all the fees, all the amount that actually is income and sales, but all the charges and the refunds and the returns, that will allow us again to get to that profitability. Obviously, internationally, we do need to think about where you need to be registered for sales taxes. What other operations? You know, we see a lot of people also either selling on something like Shopify as well as Amazon at the same time. We need to consider that. Also, maybe possibly wanting to look to sell on other channels and marketplaces and understand what effect that is on their taxes in these regions. So we would do sort of a review of what products are you selling in what regions and what tax effect is that having. What are you doing today? But also importantly, what are you planning to do in the future to really understand that you are doing things correctly?
Okay, excellent. So we talked about one of the important metrics, which is profit, right at the start. We covered that part. So let's talk about any other metrics that you think is important for sellers to look at.
Yeah, I think, you know, one area, and this would be your area, Prabha, is that sort of ROAS, you know, return on advertising spend, and of course that's eating so much into the margin as well. So if we can get down into the data, into the metrics at a product level, so if you can see right down into the product level, and where we're really keen is then to look at by product at the margin and the profit on each one, really helping you, I would hope, in this world where we can really understand, well, what is your budget to spend on advertising? What is the margin and where is the cutoff? So at what point would you be better? It's all about, you've got your budget to spend, where would you be best spending that budget? And you're going to get to a point where you're probably going to max out, especially understanding that when you go to new international markets, there clearly has to be an investment period where you need to build up sales to a certain level, but really understanding those numbers, and you start again with profitability on the product. How much margin is there in this product? How much can I spend on ads for that product in those markets? And sometimes, as we know, with so many supply chain shocks, especially if you look at transport costs, you know, we've seen massive shifts in container costs from China over the last few years. That landed cost, working out, you know, your average landed cost, your real cost of that product, then creating a profitability for each product, each SKU, allows then the ads world to really maximize the money spent. So I think that's where everybody can work together, so you can get, you know, be working on the ads to get the best return. But really, to do that, you really need to understand the margin and be putting that ad money in the absolute best place. And of course, you know, the best place today may not be the best place tomorrow, the best place next month, the best place in 6 months. We are living in a very fast-paced world, and to keep up and be profitable at at your best level just requires you to be on top of that data, understanding your profitability and understanding the return on ad spend. And that is not something you know, if you know what you were doing last year, I'm going to guess it was different. It's different today. Yeah,
generally we compare year-on-year movement, don't we? So, but you know, things have happened in between, so things change all the time. Cool. So, all right, thank you. We're towards the end, so thank you again for your time today. If somebody wants to have a catch up with you to find out, you know, audit their account, for instance, so where's the best place to find you?
Certainly LinkedIn. If you search Philip Oakley, Outserve on LinkedIn, and very happy just, you know, have an initial call and a discussion to have that initial sort of assessment of maybe is it just worth having a chat and understanding where you are and where you want to be. And if you're not understanding profitability on your products at the moment, we'd love to have that discussion.
Excellent. Thank you again for your time today, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.
Thank you, Prabha. Thank you. Take care.